to families who are living with dementia, and they teach us how to provide the best care as professional caregivers, care pros, and then of course families who are battling this disease. So without further ado, I introduce Teepa, Snow, Amanda, and Abby.
I will stand up here so it's easier to see. But what I'm going to say is thank you for what you do. You are making it possible for people whose brains are changing to stay in places they'd rather be. And if it weren't for you, they would be going places they don't want to go and being in spaces where they can't get out, which is challenging. And sometimes the work you do is incredibly, incredibly hard. Because although they're right where they have lived for a long time, they come to you and they say, listen, can you get me out of here? I gotta get home. I've got children and I can't stay here anymore. Can you help me? Who are you and what are you doing here anyway? So number one, I want to go home, but I am home. Then I want to know who you are and why you're in my house. Then
tell her your daughter, her daughter sent you.
And they know what they're gonna say.
Try it, yeah.
So you guys know the other side. Oh, good, I finally found you. Come on, let's us get going. We're going to church. Come on. Yeah, it is too. It is too. That's not true. Yeah, now you're back here. Never argue. Yeah, if I say it's Sunday, guess what? It's Sunday. So y'all do this kind of stuff day and night. But it's also always changing. Just when you think you got something figured out, it's all going okay, dementia changes. And yet it's not the same person we had. Now you're trying to figure out, do we think she has a UTI? Is this something temporary? Should we get somebody involved, or is this the new reality of where we're going to be?
Yeah.
And often, nobody tells y'all about, come here. You see that little boy right there through that door?
I do.
You see him?
I do.
Now you got to watch out, because he'll come up under the bed and he pokes with little knives in the night.
And I'll be there ready.
You better, because he's poked on me before. You watch him, because he'll get you.
Yeah, but I'm here for you.
Well, good, thank you. Good job here. What Karen is dealing with is potentially Lewy body dementia. Or somebody with Alzheimer's who has a UTI. Or somebody who triple took their medication or hasn't taken a medication. So you guys are asked to do a whole lot of thinking on your feet.
Yeah.
You're asked to really be flexible in what you do. You're asked to take on a lot of responsibility for somebody who frequently thinks they don't need you, and I know I'm fine. You can go home now. Do you speak English? Explains a lot. Lewy body dementia. Lewy body dementia is one that has hallucination, falls, lots of falls, sleepless nights, up all night long. Big things have happened that haven't happened like they think they have happened, and it might include you having sex with somebody in their house.
Yeah, it's true.
And here's the thing, out of everybody who has Lewy body, very few are recognized and identified early on. It's not one you hear a lot about, and yet we know that it's probably a dementia of note in over 30% of all dementias. 30% of people have Lewy body. You don't have to have just Lewy body. But it's one of those tricky dementias that looks like a psychiatric problem. It looks like they have a mental issue. But the problem is they have a dementia that's affecting the thinking part of the brain, the seeing part of the brain, and the moving part of the brain, and the sensation part of the brain. Do you see that? Look, there's a bug right there. It's climbing. Do you see how it's under my skin? You see how it's going down there? I need you to dig it out.
Oh, that is like Tracy.
And your brain, I just saw your eyes and your brain go, whoa.
Sometimes you have to play along with them, like.
You do want to go along with it, so you
And
see
so-
it? Can you get it?
Yeah, I know.
No, you didn't. It's really I'm gonna have to see it from
She said, no, you did.
And so in that moment, you still need to be with me, but in that moment, it's a different relationship than it was. So y'all, take your hand and do this to yourselves. I mean, you all deserve a major pat on the back to keep doing this stuff where people don't always let you know ahead of time. Partly because they don't know ahead of time. They don't know what mom has. They don't know what's going on. That doctor didn't say specifically what it was. Because what we know is neurologists and physicians frequently are not bothered to get real specific about things when it comes to dementia. And so you guys are sort of left holding the bag because you're there morning, noon, and night frequently because people can't handle it. And so bringing speed into your thinking becomes real important because you gotta think quick. You gotta figure this out pretty fast because if you do something that makes it worse, who's gonna pay the price?
Yeah.
Both y'all, the person who's living with it, but you too, because you're there and the person's there, and if you don't figure this out, it gets worse as the shift goes on.
Yeah.
And y'all know how that is. It's not a very comfortable place to be where somebody's trying to boot you out the door and you need to be there, and you know you need to be there, but they think you're there to harm. That's not why you're there. So it's really nice when you get somebody who's so sweet. Hey, sweetheart, I'm so glad you're here. I just love you. Come on in. Whatever you want to do is fine. Here, yes, sit down with me. I'm happy to be with you. How many of those folks you get? A few, but not that many, because most of us wouldn't be all that pleasant if we were living with brain change and we couldn't figure things out, and people were in our house that we didn't quite know why. I'm fine. I don't know why my daughter even needs somebody to be here. You're just spending my money. So this whole idea of what you do is hard work. So tonight, what I want to do is focus a little bit on, in some moments of time, is it possible we can actually have some fun? Because 8 hours, 12 hours, however long your shift is, it's a long time. I mean, it's long.
That's true.
I mean, it gets to be longer when somebody isn't happy. And they don't know what to do. What are we just going to do now? What's next on the agenda?
Taking off our beads.
Taking off your beads.
Yes, you are.
Oh, I take it off my
Your beads are annoying
because
people.
it's annoying people. See, I
What's that clicking sound?
People it bothered me. Everybody was rubbing up and down on a microphone, and we didn't like it. Who are they to boss me? I'm not bossing me. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to try something. So if you haven't yet got dessert, I want you to get your dessert. If you do have your dessert and you finished it, don't go back for seconds. Because that's glucose and you should only have so much.
That's right.
Look at the person next to you.
Mm-mm.
Look at somebody around you. If there's about 4 of you at most of the tables, by the time you're 85, 2 of the 4 of you are going to have a nap. So look around. Who's an old lady? All right, so what are some of the risks? Because I want to be real clear. I mean, I want us to have fun, but I want you to be smart too. What do we have?
Medication.
The medications you're on, and whether you're taking them well or whether you're putting off, like if you're diabetic and you sort of like sometimes do, sometimes hypertensive, you don't always take it. You're increasing your risk of getting dementia soon.
Family history.
Family history. So if you have the right genetic code, of all the people, only about 20% of everybody who gets dementia is due to family. Your genetics. So about 20% is due to genetics. What you come into the world with. Guess what the rest of it is? How you, all good, you said it, diet, what we eat. What we eat. What we eat really does matter. So having diabetes, if you have diabetes, and you are not great at managing your diabetes, you are 77% more likely than your peers to get dementia at a younger age. So look at each other and go, don't go back to that second cupcake. So how much sugar and glucose we take, if we not get a little smarter as we get older, or it runs the risk of increasing our risk of getting dementia a lot.
That's true.
A lot. The other one is blood pressure. Managing our blood pressure really does. So what raises your blood pressure up?
A whole lot of stuff.
I know. So what do we need? So what's the third thing then?
Stress.
Yeah, stress. How much stress you live with. How much you let the world stress you out versus how much you figure out good strategies for coping
That's right.
with your stress. So learning the art of prayer, of movement, of dance, of letting things go, of breathing. Even breathing makes a difference.
Breathing makes a big difference.
Makes a big difference. So suck in air and blow it out. Now you have to blow it all the way from the bottom. See, some of yours full, and you're having trouble. So suck in again through your nose, and really blow it out. You want to make your diaphragm come up real high so that you fully empty all the CO2 out. So when you suck in, you're getting fresh oxygen, and it's going to go to your brain, because your brain needs oxygen. What's another risk factor?
Environment.
Tell me more.
That sounded really good when I.
You sounded really good. It's a good word. I like the word. It's
How about we, like, okay, if you're not in clean air, if you don't have
okay
clean
if you
water.
don't have good clean air around you. Yeah, we do know that where people live does matter. So industrial locations where the oxygen is not great, where you're not getting outdoors, it's not safe to be outdoors. Where you have problems with chemicals in the water, chemicals, things like those kind of things, runoff, and where you have food that you're eating that isn't really safe food, because where it's pesticides and things like that. Yeah, those kind of things will make a difference. Those are risk factors. Yeah.
I read a book recently that said just being around people with dementia can increase your risk.
Well, it's not necessarily being around them, but when I say, I want to go home, and you don't know what to do about that, what happens to the chemicals in your body and in your brain? You get stressed, and when you get stressed with cortisol is a really dangerous hormone.
That's true.
So, but if you do know what to do, so I say, I want to go home, and you say,
You
you're
want
wanting
to go home?
Go ahead and try that. I want to go home.
You're wanting to go home.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, here's what you're going to say next. Do you need to do something there, or you just don't want to be here?
Do you need to do something there, or you just don't want to be here?
Well, the children are there, and they're by themselves. So now you're going to say, oh, so the kids are there, and you're worried about them.
Okay. Oh, so the kids are there and you're worried about them.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell you what, I'm going to get up with somebody and let them know that they need to check on those kids. Now, what just happened to my stress as the person living with dementia? Went down. What happened to your stress as my carer? No, because you said you worried about those kids actually being in the house?
You don't switch it just like that.
I will switch it like that. Guess what I need you to have gotten? Here's another risk factor. Guess what another risk factor is? Not getting enough sleep.
That's true. That's number one. You're right.
Well, it's on up there. How many of you feel like you get 7 to 8 hours a night? Oh, look at, there's a couple good ones here. How many of you know that you do not get as much sleep as you should? I know you're working real hard, but I also want you to do this. Look to the future. When they say, what's something nice you could do for me? Be thinking about these kind of things we're talking about. Because eating well, drinking a lot of, I knew that was going to be the right answer, but not what? Wine. Not alcohol and not sugar drinks. Those make a big difference. start adding them up, they make a great big difference to our well-being and the well-being of our brain. Because our brain loves glucose. Water, you gotta really bring that water in, because we really need more water in our system than the kids put in. All right, so that's some of the things that we know about dementia. Oh, here's something else. Being with people you like reduces your risk. So when you said being around people living with dementia, if you don't like the person you're with at all, guess what? It increases your risk. That's something that's not good for your brain. Being around people you don't like for hours on end. So finding ways to like people. And do this, I'm gonna tell you, do this. When dementia gets this big, go ahead, put that big. Here's what families are realizing. When dementia gets this big, they need to spend this much time with their person. So they can like them this much. Because when they try to spend this much time with somebody they've known their whole life, it's too much. It's just too much for them. And that's why they're wanting to spend less time. But here's your challenge. Find what you can like about the people you're working with. Because if you can't find something to like, this, when you spend this much time with somebody who's living with dementia, you don't like them. All you'll see is their dementia. All you'll see is what you don't like. And guess how often it's going to start cropping up? A lot. Because it's hard. It's hard for everybody when we don't like being with people. So what I'm going to have us do is I'm going to give you a few things to try. I want you to try them at your table, see whether or not you sort of like it. So if you want to clear some of your plates off, that would be good. And this is going to be relatively simple. We're going to be doing a couple things. We'll give you a couple of ideas. And here's the first one. And I need a little help to make sure each table has a set of scissors. You sure can.
Are there like at a certain age you can get like signs of dementia? Somebody, well, what I learned, I don't know if it's true or not.
Yep.
But somebody said you can start seeing signs of dementia. You're like your 40s. You're like.
Okay, so we have a really good question up here. How old do you have to be to get dementia? And the answer is there are over 120 forms, causes, and types, and at least 10 of them are for babies and small children and teenagers. 20 of them. So we can have some dementias that happen with kids as they're born, right after they're born. I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember Rye syndrome. When we gave little kids aspirin, and when we gave little kids aspirin, their brains started dying and they developed dementia. And it was brought to us because we shouldn't be giving
There's enough for
aspirin
two.
to really small children. There are certain children that it's very risky with. Other kids not, but some kids it's really risky with. So the kids who had Rye syndrome, they developed dementia because of that. Other kids have it because of what they're born with, genetics. What we do know is there are certain types of dementia that are very common in your 40s, 50s, and early 60s. There are frontal temporal dementias. There are dementias that come from having a head injury. People who've had a stroke are at greater risk for getting it. You can start Lewy body at age 15 to 35. Yeah. Yeah, and so somewhere between, if we look at all populations, somewhere between 5 to 10% of us have dementia. When we look at over the age of 65, it's about 30 to 35%. By the time you're up to 85 years old, it's 50%. So looking at how we do it.
out right now.
I know, so we need to find some ways to get rid of that, because this is, what you do is so important that we want you to take care of yourself. Because we got plenty of people living with dementia. We don't need more. So learning how to take care of yourself. So what I'm gonna have you try is I'm gonna have you try something. Yes, ma'am.
So the out-of-body
Antibody stuff?
dimension.
Lewy body.
Lewy body, yeah, Lewy.
Okay, when they are going through that stage, is it good to suggest a nap?
You can, yes, during the day,
Right.
because they're gonna be up all night no
Right,
matter what
right.
you do. And if they can get a little bit of shut-eye during the day,
Stress level down.
absolutely.
Right.
Get them to
Right.
take a break,
Right.
because they can't sleep at night.
Right.
They are up in the night, checking the
Right.
doors,
Right.
looking around.
Setting the table and doing
Yes,
everything, right.
yeah, so they aren't gonna be able to sleep at night. So
Okay.
trying to switch them just wears everybody out.
Right.
So letting them nap during the day
Right.
makes a lot of sense.
Right.
That's the latest thinking. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
Good, good, good. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I have a big favor to ask of everybody.
She had one more over there.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Is it
you're-
more prevalent with dementia with women and versus men?
Really good question. Do women get dementia more than men?
Yes.
Certain types. Certain types of dementia. Other types of dementia, men might get it more. But as we get older, women live longer, and we're more at risk because of estrogen. Estrogen increases our risk of several kinds of dementia, not all of them, but several kinds. So yeah, our risk is higher, number one, because we live longer. Number two, because guess what? Women stress a lot more.
Yeah.
We carry that stress around with us a lot more, and we wear ourselves out a lot. We do a lot of sleep down stuff without meaning to, because we worry. If you're a worrier, you need to quit that.
That's right.
You hear me? What else? You need to quit the worrying, because worrying is actually really good for because it gets in a spiral and you can't seem to turn it off.
And why is it not sleep at night?
People with Lewy body, their clock gets turned and they're more fearful at night, they're more worried at
Yeah.
night, and they have to pay attention at night because the world out there they can't see. And when they can't see something, their brain, their primitive brain goes, I better be on the lookout. Bad things could be going on. Look, you see that man out there? I saw a shadow. And so they can't settle at night, but during the day, they're more relaxed and often can settle in.
Is that almost like, is that almost like sundowning?
It's different. Sundowning is what happens during the day typically. As I use up all my good chemistry in my brain and the day wears on, I wear out. And what happens to us when we wear out? We get in the car, we go home, and guess what? We get recharged. What happens for people that you're caring for that don't leave the house? Rah, rah, that's when I get turned around in my time, in my life, in my place, in what's going on. You're not, I don't know who you are, get out of here. I gotta get out of here. So it becomes more distressing because my brain is not working as well. And my brain is shutting down on me and I'm getting worried and scared and I've gotta get home. I can't stay here. And so I become more distressed because I don't know how to recharge my batteries anymore. And so it's really hard for everybody, and especially if we're changing shift about them. Because then you get to go and I don't. And then that becomes distressing. So it's, you know, when I say this is really hard work, you guys work really hard. More questions that you guys have?
Somebody on TikTok is wondering if MS is a indicator of dementia.
Multiple sclerosis. People who get MS, multiple sclerosis, people who get MS they're about 45% of them will develop a dementia. That comes specifically with MS. It tends to have, I can do it, I'm fine. And then I make mistakes. So I think I'm more capable than I am. I start having problems with how well I do things. I get really upset about things. I get horribly emotional and distressed. And then I'm fine, and then I'm not. And so I do have memory issues, but memory is like this much of the problem. We also see it with Parkinson's. About 45% of everybody who develops Parkinson's will develop dementia. And a lot of people with Parkinson's will develop Lewy body. And a lot of people with Lewy body develop Parkinson's. They have drugs. Do they have good drugs? They have medications. None of them stop the disease at all. Some of them might help some symptoms sometimes. Those drugs tend to make the brain really dull, so the problem is if they do get up, what are they likely to do? Fall. And if they fall, what are they likely to do? Or break something because they can't protect themselves. So you're juggling balls. You know, like it helps to get somebody to rest, but the kind of meds that we give sometimes make them less able to do things. And so that's riskier than for other reasons, including swallowing. They may have some trouble swallowing sometimes. and chewing and eating and those kind of things. Yeah. Any other questions you guys have? Because you guys are asking really good questions.
So I've been told, because I've had a family member that has dementia, but I took care of, but I've been told if you catch dementia early on, that they have medication that they can give you before it's like 7 stages, I think.
Yeah, no, there's something that's gonna stop it. Some of those medications, and they're called, there's two fancy words for them, acetylcholinesterase inhibitors.
Round of applause? No? No?
And glutamate moderators.
Oh.
There are two different drugs that you can give people. Neither of them stop the disease. None of them change the disease. For a few people, it can help for some period of time, for some people, for some symptoms. But for a lot of people, they don't do anything. You're just spending money, or you're giving them stuff, and it might actually be making other things worse, like going to the bathroom. They can't hold their urine. They have problems with diarrhea. They're having problems with nausea or an upset stomach.
And then be like, oh
Or
my
they're
God, diarrhea,
anxious.
negative cramp.
Yeah, legs cramping. Yeah. So, you know, you start with one med, and then you add another med, and then they put on a third med, and yeah. So mostly it's about how you do your care that makes life different. How good you are at your job and how well you do your job is what makes life living with dementia more livable for everybody. All right.
Just one more question. Do it affect one race worse than the
Oh,
other?
good question. Good question. So bad news. Lewy body is more common among the African American population.
Oh,
So Lewy body, that one that has hallucinations and delusions and has movement problems and sensation problems and sometimes getting tremors, where you go to do something you can't make your hand do what you want it to do. That's slightly more prevalent for people living who are African American. But frontal temporal, more white people get in. Yay. Or not. So frontal temporal, front part of my brain is what causes me to behave, control my impulses, think things through, make good choices. It allows me to see other people's points of view. It allows me to know whether I'm good to do something or I need help. It allows me also to know how to do something. If I want to drink out of that glass, I walk over, I pick it up, and then I take a drink and I set it back down. If I have problems with frontal temporal dementia, I may walk over to it, especially frontal, and I want a drink. I want a drink. Now, whoa, that came out of, what are you going to tell me? It came out of, what did I say twice?
I want a drink.
Did you do anything about it?
You should have gave her a drink of water.
Yeah, but you're sort of stuck because you're thinking, well, but I drank out of that. And in this moment, you got two choices. Well, you could say, you want a drink of water. Come on, and I'll get you one. But you would have to do what right in this moment? Stand up and say, oh, you want water, come on. Because all I know is I want water right now.
That's right.
I don't know how to get the water, I don't know what to do, and I'm looking at you and I'm hoping you're what? Because I came to you because you're helping me. I want water.
Stand up. Stand up. Do it. She's not gonna stop. Stand up. Stand up. Yeah.
You will say you will do it, but guess what happens if I come up again and you haven't practiced? What will happen? You'll sit there, your eyes go, oh shit, here she comes. You think you won't? I'll tell you what you do. I've been doing this 40 plus years. Your little bottom will sit right in that chair. You will watch me coming. Your eyes will get very big, and you'll be still in that chair. You're going, I'm supposed to say something. What am I supposed to say? Oh my God, I can't remember what I'm supposed to say. Oh my God, she's going to hit me. And by the time your brain gets, oh, you want water, it's done. And that's where we get ourselves in trouble sometimes, because we can know something. Put your hand right here. You can know something, do this, but you haven't practiced doing it, which is this part of your brain. That's a whole different part of your brain. So thinking, doing, seeing, and then talking. and listen. So those are all different parts of your brain. And people living with dementia could have damage here, no damage here. They could have damage here and here. I need the thing. I need the thing.
The water.
Yeah, the thing.
Yeah, I don't know how to do this.
Do this, and you're praying you never get one like But here's the reality. Guess what? The numbers are going up. And guess who needs the most help? Clients like me. Why? Because family members don't know what to do. And will I do well in a facility? No. So you're my hope. You're my hope for life. You are my hope. And I don't care what color I am, I'm hoping for somebody. I'm colorblind sometimes in this moment. I'm not, but I may say other things like that, and on the other hand, I might do that. So take your right hand. You got a right hand? Put up your right temple. Take your left thumb, index, and middle finger, just these three, and touch them to your left hip. I know, those three, right here, these three, right here. And I want you to go left, right, go ahead and say that. Left, right, say it again. Left, right, one more time. Left, right. Now, language on your left, rhythm on your right. You'll lose on your left, but retain on your right. Okay, so let's put it all together. You ready? Get those left fingers up. We'll try. Left, right, say it again. Left, right, one more time. Left, right. Now, language on your left, rhythm on your right. You'll lose on the left, but retain on the right. So what are you going to keep? Rhythm skills, what you going to lose? Language skills. Vocabulary, your ability to understand what people say to you, and your ability to speak. Those are going to start disappearing. And you got to put it in the one with the thing. You know what where the one is? Know where the one is. You're a pretty one of it all. You very pretty. La 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 like it. So what was I missing? Vocabulary, comprehension, and did my speech sound real clear?
No.
Did it make a lot of sense?
No.
However, did I have a nice rhythm? Did you know sort of was it with the finger? Yeah. So here's what I'm gonna keep over here. Do this. Chit chat words. Well, I never, isn't that something? Hey sweetheart, how are you? Well, God bless you. Well, isn't that something? I keep that. Here's the second thing I'm gonna keep. Oh, right here. Forbidden words. Every forbidden word I've ever learned. Over here on this side. These are things that people never say. Oh my God, my mother never. She never did. Absolutely, that's why they were forbidden. And guess what she's got left? All vocabulary left. Guess what she's got left? Chit chat, forbidden words. So you're also going to go, hey you, fat one, come here. And it's like, oh, Mama, you cannot say that. You know you're a kid. I'm saying you're dumb. I will say these mean things because those are all for me, for you, they're forbidden. So guess what happens? Do this. Lids off. If I say it. So now imagine you're somewhere and you think something came out of your mouth right away. Look at the person next to you and think something about it. And realize you best not say that. You all have thoughts that you don't say. That's not nice. You don't say that about something. Now just imagine, have y'all ever been around a 3-year-old? Have you ever had that one where you go,
Mm-hmm.
No, I really do mean it nice. Why would I say it? I don't have any filter, and guess what I still have preserved up there? Boots, they're available. It's one of those words I got. And said, don't you look nice? And I might admit, I love how you look, which is where I was being nice, and now you got nice boots. And what else do I do without this? If I like how they look, watch out what comes next. So, oh, that's nice. Well, how do you hold it all up now? All of a sudden you're like, ooh, she's in my hand. Because what I see and I like, I want to touch. And I don't have a lot of language except I'll say, ooh, and your brain should go, uh-oh, what'd you just see? So if I'm looking, hey, babe. Now's when you want to go, hey, sweetheart, and get up quick. Because if I get over top of you, is it going to be easy for you to get up? No. And do you feel sort of trapped right now? Yeah, do you like it? And guess what else quit working about now? Your thinking brain. Because your thinking brain is not thinking, you're just like worried what's going to happen next. Yeah. And your arms are getting real uncomfortable, and you're thinking, if she touches me, and that's that moment where your brain catches up with you. So over here, what were the things over here? Forbidden words, and what else? Chit-chat. Here's the second thing I still do is back and forth, take turns. So I say, I'm going to put it in the get, okay? Okay, yeah, you going to come over it? All right, and you got the squirrel? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. You're long, I see that. Yeah, you been getting it? Good. I will go back and forth. You have a clue what I'm talking about? Do I have a clue what you're talking about? Then are we chit-chat?
Yeah.
That's one back and forth. Here's the other one. I said no now. You go to hell. I can also argue. So I say, let's take your pants off. No, let's try. I said no. So this is where, without realizing, you get into arguments, and they can argue really hard, and when they think they're losing, then I don't want you, get out of here. Because arguing is a taking turns, but we're getting loud. You want to watch the way you see that voice change. Okay, so you ready to go take a shower? Okay, well, let's get your clothes off. No. Now, here, Liz, what happened? She agreed. I said, I'll take a shower. Bullshit. So this moment where Liz thought one thing and I thought something else, and all of a sudden, how close are we? Pretty close. Yes. Well, I'll just take it close. Now, I know you're not. I want to point out that Liz said, I know you're not, and she grabbed both of my hands. Because her brain went, but I don't trust you. And so this is the life you live. These moments are happening, and if you don't realize what's happening in the brain, you can think she's doing this on purpose, when in fact I'm doing what I have left. And that's what I still have. So the third thing is the rhythm of language, the rhythm of speech. So they can tell you, ask a question, they don't have a clue what the question is. So when I say, are you ready to go now? You go, okay. I say, go now. Are you ready to go? Yeah. Okay. Come on. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, you do it? Sure. Okay. I do that. Yes. How many of you know what I've asked you several times? I've asked you to stand up 3 different times. What did you do?
I said I didn't understand what you said. So I disagreed.
I know, but you can get up. So this is this moment where she gets that I'm asking her for something and she's trying to be agreeable. That if she's somebody living with dementia, have I actually showed her what I want her to do? And I'm standing right where she would need to be to stand up. But I'm so busy telling her stuff, and she's so busy agreeing, that neither of us realize it would work. Hey, no.
Oh, shoot.
What did I do instead? I did a motion that's a really familiar, so the fifth thing on this side is automatic rhythmic movement. Or automatic cues when I go, ooh, stand up. And I do that and I look at you. It's really hard not to want to stand up right now. How about if I go, ooh. So, how did you know it was something to drink? All I did was this. Well, what happened was I gave you a cue and your brain saw it. You used this part of your brain. And that part's still working. More or less. It's not great, but it's better than that. So, guess what people living with dementia are better at doing? Dancing and walking. They can dance much better than they walk. You get them dancing, all of a sudden they're doing great. They got the moves. And you're like, you get that walker, and they're like, because it's moving with thinking versus automatically moving without thinking with rhythm. And then the most powerful and important thing to know is what is preserved is music, poetry, prayer, and counting. Music, poetry, prayer, and counting, they keep that. So that's something that, and sometimes spelling, people can spell. So I want to go to BD. I want to go to BD. I want to go to BD. What do you say? You want to go to bed? Yes, that's what I want. So I have a lady that's what she could do. She could only spell. She couldn't say what she wanted. She could spell. Her dementia got worse, and she got, I want to go big. I want to go big, big, big. And people were not understanding her, and she'd get really angry and try to grab them. But what she's trying to do is get them to take her to the but she's just gotten up.
I don't know how to do that.
But where did she feel safer? Yeah, what was sitting up? Hard work. And she wanted to be back where she felt safer. So, that's a little bit about brains. Is that helpful? So, as we're learning about what do they keep, what do they lose, as you're working with folks and you're running into trouble, you might want to think, I wonder if they're losing vocabulary, comprehension, or speech production. So what can I work with? Chit chat, automatic words. If they're giving me mean words, ooh, I should pay attention to that. Maybe rhythm of a question, but I want to show them what I'm talking about, so I have a better chance of them getting it. And sometimes maybe what I can do is switch to use.
Microphone is okay. It's just she might just have it. I got it unplugged. You can check her little battery.
Now, she didn't want to get up, did she? No, but she did, didn't she? So now we're going to head down the hall to the bathroom as we sing As the Saints Go Marching In, which is real different than when we did get from the bathroom. Because I broke it down into little pieces. Yeah. So she could be more successful. I don't mention that until I'm all the way down the hall. And that hot is right in front of her. That's what
Strangle people.
Let's pee while we're here. Oh, okay. Which is real different than, come on, you haven't been to the bathroom while. You don't like it when you get wet. Come on. Which is trying to use logic and work. And asking questions and giving statements. It's just, So I started off saying it's hard work. It is. It is. And will you ever know everything you want and need to know about it? No. I've been doing it 40 years. Guess what? I keep learning new stuff every day. Because we're learning a lot about this. So I want to get back to this for just got a few minutes. I'm going to give each table. Let's see if I can give each 2 sheets.
And try. I don't think that's the problem, but just her mic is coming through
I want
fine
you
on
to figure
that.
out what's on these pages.
That's. I was wondering if hers was kind of unplugged a little bit on her battery.
And there's a pair of scissors. There are scissors at each table. Notice what we got on. And I'm gonna ask for somebody to do us a big favor, and if you have any extra scissors, we get a couple of tables to have a couple of extra pairs. So we get 2 pairs on the table if you got.
I need to check your mic. They're saying they can't hear too good.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay. Right there. See if it maybe came unplugged.
Okay.
Let me do a little press. Press again.
Okay.
I'll try it. We'll see if it's.
All right, see if that's any better. All right, so if you have a couple extra pair of scissors, whoever has scissors, what do you think I want you to do? Cut them up. Cut them out. All of them. All of them. Cut each of the letters out. You can cut a row and then you can cut a row.
I was gonna say
Each individual letter. So, as you're doing it, I want you guys to think of who do you care for whom using a cutting motion with your hand. Remember where I had you put these 3 fingers to your temple? Okay, get your right fingers, 3 of them, when you're not using scissors. Use scissors, people keep working. Get your other fingers, 3 fingers, thumb, index, and middle. And I want you to imagine you're going to button the button. Which fingers are you using? How about zipping the zipper? How about picking up a pen and writing with it? Which scissors? What do you notice? You use those same fingers. These are called the fingers of skill. These are your skill fingers. These are fingers
I had
that are
fixed it when she
skillful
was
on
back
the
here.
human hand. And
I had fixed it when she was back here. And
just so
instead
you
of
know,
Gotcha.
it's called your median nerve. Has anybody ever had carpal tunnel syndrome?
Yeah.
Where you have trouble with your wrist? That's where that nerve goes. These 2 fingers over here, these 2 little fingers and your ring finger, they have a nerve. It's called the ulnar nerve. It goes behind your elbow. If you ever hit your elbow, that's that nerve right there. These 2 fingers make your hand strong. So when you pull in with those 2 fingers, your hand gets real strong. So hold on to somebody's wrist. Hold on to somebody's wrist with just these 3 fingers. And squeeze a little bit. And yeah, I mean, you can squeeze some. Bring in this 3, bring in those 2 fingers, and now your hand is real strong. Yeah. Here's what happens. When people are living with dementia, they will always lose skill before they lose strength. So now all of a sudden, rather than 3 skill fingers and 2 strong fingers, you'll have 5 strong fingers without skill. So when I go to do something, I need you to come on, and so I can get a death grip on it. Okay?
I think her phone might be going
They have
off.
a really strong grip, but they also have a really strong arm, and they can have a really strong bite.
I think her
They will
phone
have
might be
really
going
strong
off her
movement.
alarm
They're
somewhere.
pushing, they're moving.
I don't know where it is,
Not
but I can
because
hear
they're
it.
skillful, but because they have strength. So how important is it to keep somebody's hands moving with
Turn-taking.
skill? Really important, because if you want to pick your shirt up, pull your shirt off, or you want to do your pants or get toilet paper, you need skillful fingers. And so what it means is cutting with these scissors, you're using some skill. Every time you do it, you're using your hand and your eye, your hand and your eye, your hand and your eye. And so you keep doing it, and you're getting to exercise this hand motion. And these are scissors they give to kindergartners. Why they give them to kindergartners? Because they're sort of dull, but they will cut paper. So when we have these little lines and these little letters, we can have them cut this apart. So could this be something you could have somebody do with you? The 2 of you both cut it. Will it fill up a little bit of the day? Could they work on cutting along the straight line? And cutting off the ends? Look at you, you're doing a good job. And what if I say to them, nice work, wow, that's really good. Nice job, yeah, thank you for doing that for me. I really appreciate it. Right. Yeah, no, I really do, thank you.
Are we supposed to spell something?
You are going to, but don't get carried away. So when we have you do this, how about you guys who just sitting there with nothing to do? How do you feel? How many of you are feeling sort of left out? Good try, Sharon, since we all don't have enough scissors. Sure. See if you can get your steel fingers to do that. That's a great idea. Try to tear along the lines once they get them cut in strips. All right. So, is it possible somebody wouldn't be able to use scissors? Yes. Could you cut up a bunch of letters though? Yes. Could you do it while you're sitting there and they're doing something else? Resting.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to get enough of the letters. I can tell a lot of you have a pretty decent number of letters. Some of you are quicker at this. Some of you are nice job. What we're going to do is I'm going to come up with some words. You're going to help me. Because now we're going to Okay, so we're going to pick a category. I want one of you to help me out here. Pick a category. One of these. You're going to pick one of these. Oh, they aren't going to like that you did that. Okay, sports teams. Sports teams. I don't like that. Okay, here we go. We're going to do animals. Animals. So I'm going to need, hey Abby, can you write animals up on the board?
If I get the marker.
It was up on the piano.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys here. Animals you would find on a farm. Give me 3 animals you find on a farm.
Cow,
You guys.
Here.
Chicken and a pig. Cow, chicken, and pig. Animals you find in a zoo. A giraffe,
a lion,
and a bear. Okay. Animals you find on the streets of Chapel Hill.
a stray dog,
A deer, a dog,
A goat. A goat, have you seen
a cat.
A dog and a cat.
Animals you find in the water.
fish,
Whale, snail, shrimp. Okay, good. Okay, that here.
Oh, we gotta spell the word.
Animals you find underground. Ants.
Where was it? Where?
Moles. Moles and ants. Okay. Animals you find up in the sky. Birds.
A hawk, bee.
Ooh, very nice.
Okay, that is not an animal. Cloud is not an animal.
No judgment here. There's no judgment.
Okay, they did.
Cloud is nice. Not an animal.
Animals that have only 2 legs. Animals that have 2 legs. They already said birds. We have to say that. What only has 2 legs? Animals with 2 legs. Ostrich. Okay. A chicken. Well, now we got chicken already from the farm. A turkey. Okay. An eagle. Okay, you guys did it. Good job. Okay, here. We're looking, now this one's hard, we're getting to the hard ones. Animals that have a pouch.
Kangaroo,
Wombats,
kangaroo,
kangaroo, and a koala bear.
they got pouches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Learn something new every day.
Now think of, oh, I didn't do either. Okay, now think hard before you go. Things that don't have legs. Think of my answer. Snake. What kind?
Wow.
A black snake. Okay, you got a black snake. Fish. Oh, you got to come up with special fish. They said, what kind? Goldfish. Okay, goldfish. When something else that doesn't have legs.
What come in the sea? Animals in the sea.
That's good. Say it louder. They can't hear you.
Eel doesn't have legs.
Good job.
It goes in the earth that you fish with. A worm. You know, okay, here you go. You ready? Things that hatch. Things that hatch. What hatch? We got chickens already. Turtles hatch. Ducks hatch.
Ugh.
One other thing that hatch. We got snakes already.
Dinosaurs.
This table has to come up with it. What else
Oh,
hatch?
spiders hatch. Go ahead, hatch the little eggs. Spiders.
Spiders hatch.
Yeah.
All right. So now, okay, so how many of you realize what I had you doing? Vocabulary, comprehension, speech production.
Right.
I had you thinking. I had you using your eyes. I had you using your hands. So what part of your brain were you using? Oh, what part of your bodies were you using? Ah. Rather than just sitting there and listening to me, you were doing stuff. And it was different than just having time. So were you all working together too?
Yes.
All right, now here's your next job. If you wanted to, and I bet some of you would be tempted, but we are getting close on time. Start with a word and pick a long word, and you're going to lay it out with your letters. And what you're going to do is start making a crossword. So you're going to do black snake across here. Then you're going to find the letter, and you're going to make some words going down. So start with chicken. This group's going to start with chicken. Oh, look at chicken. So start with chicken, and now you got to figure out how you put something else on the chicken.
Oh no, we're starting with chicken.
We choose a word from up there and make it.
Start a crossword. Yep. You pick any word you want.
You're making up a crossword puzzle. There you go. You guys are doing it.
Oh, yeah. Now you got it.
Now notice this stuff about you guys. You're starting to work as a team. You're coming together. You're working together.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so we can make love out of the L. Oh, so you can do birds, you can do whatever.
Find another word. As you're doing this, think about some of your clients and whether you have clients that could use some of it. And then pick another word. So, if I have
Oh, here.
Okay, it's going to go right there. And then we need another letter. What letter do you think I'm looking for? An A. Who's got an A? Perfect. All right, now, excellent. You guys are doing a great job. Now, see what other word you have. All right. So this has got to be a I'm going to pause everybody just for a second. How many of you are finding that your brain is getting involved in this activity?
They're not paying attention back there. You might need to get their attention.
You feel like you got your syringe spot. How many of you realize how many of you aren't stopping because now you're doing it and you can't stand time to interrupt you? So here's what I want to say. Thank you. Thank you guys for being who you are, doing what you're doing. Thank you for being willing to play with me a little bit and learn a little bit. And thank you for having some fun, because sometimes the work we do is so hard we forget to find those moments of fun. And I'm glad you got a chance to try something out. That wasn't just caring for someone, and instead, you're taking care of your own brain.
Take them. Yeah.
And Leslie was a paraprofessional, so thank you, Dumas, for doing what you did. Thanks to Homestead for having me come on. Hi, I'm Teepa Snow, and you just found our YouTube channel and watched one of our videos. I'm the owner and founder of Positive Approach to Care. Thanks for watching, and if you liked, if you have a comment about, or you would, please share it with people you know. Oh, and if you haven't yet done it, consider subscribing. We'll let you know when the next new video comes out. And you might want to visit our website, www.teepasnow.com, where you'll find other resources as well. See you there.